sitting here in the midst of these weapons that are intended, weapons formed against us. And they're intended to destroy us. And I mean, to blow up our tanks, to blow us up, to blow our buildings up. And right now, in the midst of Khan Yunis, brigades, almost all the focus of the army, of course Yalom as well, are in the midst of Khan Yunis, surrounded the city and are operating. And we're picking up a lot of these, and these are big, right? You can see how big these are. They take down buildings, they shoot our tanks, and these weapons are formed against us. But I want to say, even if it's Hamas, even if it's Islamic Jihad, even if it's ISIS, even if it's Taliban, even if it's Boko Haram, all their missiles, all their guided missiles, the ones that Iran has, I want to say something about this. It's not going to succeed. I was looking at the parashah. Do you read the Bible? Do you read the portion of the week, the oldest Bible reading plan known to man? And Exodus 13, it talks about a pillar of cloud is guiding us. And that's the encouragement I have in the midst of this. In the midst of this darkness, I want to say I believe in the light guiding us to the promised land and protecting us in the promised land and signifying God's presence over us. Exodus 14, this was all in the portion of the week, if you read it, crossing the Red Sea. That's a big miracle. What miracles are you believing for now? We crossed on dry land, and this big Pharaoh's army, it was gone. Okay, Exodus 14. They drowned when they were trying to get us in Exodus 14, Pharaoh's army. And so I was going to say this. Also, did you read Exodus 15, Song of Moses? He sings a song of the sea. And he says, God delivered us from these enemies. And Song of Miriam, you also have her in Exodus 15, verse 20. And she's singing and dancing with the tambourine. All the girls want to be like Miriam. And it just shows the gratitude to God. And that's what we got to have. That's what we got to keep having. And then you have the bitter water. That you think you're in the promised land, it's all going to be fine, but it's bitter water, and it becomes sweet and drinkable. And I think God cares for us in our time. So if you're going through a hard time, maybe you need a little manna, maybe a little bit of manna, and that's what I believe this is. God's word is manna, and that's what the parashah wasn't. That's Exodus 16, talked about manna. It talked about water from a rock. God's providing for us, and I just think it's time for us to recognize that in the midst of extreme danger, God will protect us even from Amalek. And that was right in the portion of the week, Exodus 17. Amalek attacks us when we're weak, attacks us from behind, thought it would defeat us. But here's what's going to happen to Hamas. Mark my words, they will be no more. Will you take a moment, light a candle with me, and remember International Holocaust Remembrance Day? Really the darkest chapter in Jewish history, really a smear on a blood-stained smear on human history. How could humans do this? It's a stark reminder that when hate, just festers like a disease and it's unchecked, it's not stopped, it grows until unspeakable atrocities are happening. It can never repeat. We say never again. It can never happen again. And that's why I'm proud to be in the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces. And right now, it's disheartening that this is the time that the ICJ in The Hague, Netherlands, the International Court of Justice, is supposed to be, brings forth all these false charges. We're trying to defend our homeland. Is this the time that they choose to bring a false witness against us here in Israel? And it's tarnishing the memory of those who perished at the hands of vicious hatred. And it's, apartheid South Africa only ended in 1991. It was a momentous step towards justice, a beacon of hope, but it's just so sad to see a dismantling or a derailing of true justice and standing up for what's right. And this Holocaust Remembrance Day, let's light a candle. Let's stand in memory together of the victims and help us in the Aliyah Return Center to continue to help them and bless them and to do these events for them. And we stand and we say, never again will baseless hatred, baseless accusations be let go. No, we won't be divided. With profound respect for the memory of the fallen 6 million, we say, never again. May God bless Israel.